If it is or if it ain't, it's going to come out. Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration and juice. It is February the 7th, 2023, and today the topic is unlimited resources. Unlimited resources. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I hope that you all had a great day yesterday. Mine was just fine. I ended up recording an episode of GSL yesterday, which was really, really good and right on time. So shout out to the gentleman that I was talking to. You guys will see that in the future at some point, if the Lord's will. I was a little bit disappointed after because technology, right? But we're going to see what the Lord do. You know, how that episode comes out. Worst case scenario, you guys will just see him in it. But anyway, regardless of that, it was a great conversation, and yeah, I can't wait for y'all to see and hear it. Anything else from yesterday? Not too much. I mean, we had a few moments with NJ, you know, just parenting and whatnot. Again, I love the dynamic that we have here at our home at this point, because again, with my husband hustling from home, with me hustling from home, we're all here. And, you know, so there's times when NJ might need a little bit of correction that we both can take, you know, part in. You know, maybe there's some things that he does where, you know, my husband doesn't appreciate how he interacts with me, so he'll correct that, and vice versa, you know. So it's just really good thing to, like, be in this position. And, you know, I know my husband wants to, you know, get into a company and all that type of stuff and whatnot, but I hope and pray that it will be something that will continue to be from home, because I don't know, y'all. I'm kind of spoiled these days by having him around and everything like that. What else to share? Nothing much about yesterday. I would say on top of that, other than the Lord making a way like He always do, and I think that's part of where the inspiration comes from today. Because I guess I call this topic today unlimited resources, but the interesting thing is what got me to it was this idea of proportions. I'll get into that in a second, right? But long story short, I'll just say it like this. You know, over the weekend, I was looking at my accounts and I was like, well, I want to do this and I want to do that. Well, let me just, you know, in faith, worst case scenario, I'll get out there, hustle in the streets, and bring up the funds, because I know I had stuff going on this week. I just found out yesterday that my small group will be taking place tomorrow, and not next week for Matter Miraculous, so that's a whole nother thing too. And then I got to prepare for the juice this weekend, which y'all know, like I said, I want to give out my books. You know, I want to give out the journals at that brunch, and I want to be able to get some brunch while I'm there. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot of things that I wanted to do and want to do this week. And like I said, I was looking at my accounts on Saturday and I just was like, well, you know, and just kind of plotting in my head like, well, maybe I'll get out there, hustle in the street, maybe I'll do this or that. Well, long story short, the Lord made a way out of no way once again. Unexpected blessing came through. That's another thing too. Y'all know that I got my son in like this virtual class and whatnot, and we hadn't paid for that. Over the weekend, I was looking at that. I was like, ooh, his class is on Tuesday and we haven't paid for it yet. Like, is he going to go this week? All of that. But lo and behold, I was able to do all of that. I was able to pay for his class. I was able to finish paying the team. And I should be able to get my books and all that type of stuff. So to God be the glory, man. Again, unexpected blessings, God and his unlimited resources, coming right on time as always is just a blessing. And I guess it's just another example of having faith, y'all, being, you know, truly led by God in this season and just be like, you know what, Lord, I trust you. I don't see it. I barely know what I can do to help it or whatever the case is, but I trust you regardless, and he just makes a way out of no way. Because yes, he has the unlimited resources. So yeah, that's where the inspiration comes from today. Ultimately, I mean, I'll tell you a little bit more about how I came to think about this morning, aside from what I just shared. But yeah, that's part of the inspiration. So to God be the glory for that, and that's a little bit of my little testimony and whatnot. I'm excited because again, a lot of good things in the works, and yeah. So let's get into this conversation. All right. So I woke up this morning around 3:56. Lord had woke me up. I want to say I had some type of dream, but I barely remember it at all. So I know I still need to work on that, y'all. Work on these dreams and paying attention to them because I think they mean something. But anyway, yeah, I woke up at 3:56 this morning. After I did my business and all that good stuff, I started looking on social media, seeing messages I had missed, all that good stuff. You know how that go. And I did look up the Bible centered around 3:56 as well. It led me to Lamentations, which was interesting. But I ended up looking into the Strong's Concordance, and the Strong's is what led me to the word proportion, because it was one of the words that came up when I looked up 3:56. And so I Googled the definition of proportion, and that looked interesting. And then I ended up listening to the prayer meditation, or vice versa. I can't remember which one I did first, but at some point I listened to the prayer meditation. I ended up being on social media again, just kind of scrolling or whatever, getting distracted probably, responding to some messages, all this type of stuff. And then ultimately, a conversation that I was having with a friend of mine led me to realize that sometimes we have what someone else needs. Like, yeah. And then that ultimately led me back to this idea of proportion. And that's what gave me the inspiration for today, to be like, God's unlimited resources, but also in proportion. So let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. When I looked up the definition of proportion, it says a part or share or number considered in comparative relation to a whole. And then the second definition says adjust or regulates something so that it has a particular or suitable relationship to something else. Both of those definitions resonated with me this morning when thinking about all of this, because it was like, okay, a part or share or number considered in comparative relation to a whole. So if we really truly realize that God has the unlimited resources, then hopefully that will encourage us and inspire us to trust in him more for all things and be content and all those different things that the Bible tells us to do. I think a lot of times we go through life and we want it all, right? Like, it would have been great, right, to see unlimited funds in my bank account and then not have to think about, like, oh, let's go ahead and, put the child's class on subscription, put this on that, unlimited resources individually. Like, I think we all want that. We all think we would appreciate that, right? But I think, now this is just me, but also based on like what I feel like the Lord was sharing with me this morning, is that, well, one, everybody can't be trusted with unlimited resources. Can we put that on the table? Like, everybody don't need unlimited resources. Like, on one hand, you think we all need it and you think we all want it and all that type of stuff. But I mean, even, you know what, I'm gonna go, Lord. Okay, so even with stimulus, right? Y'all know what all happened when the stimulus was given out and all that stuff. Like, what did people do with their stimulus? And that would show you that everybody don't need unlimited resources. Some people might have used their stimulus to get homes, invest in businesses, get a new car if they need it, whatever the case is. People might have used their stimuluses for things like that. Other people might have used their stimuluses for things that weren't that beneficial, that they not benefited off of now. So, therefore, God, who knows all, right? He knows whether you can be trustworthy with unlimited resources or not, right? And so, what I'm receiving is that he gives us our proportion according to what we need, what we can handle. So that's one way. Another thing is that I feel like the Lord shared with me this morning. He also gives us a proportion based on our faith, right? He may also give us a proportion based on whatever our role is in the kingdom. He may give us a proportion for somebody else. And that was another thing that I was receiving this morning as well. And so with all of that in mind, God has unlimited resources. He the one that can be trusted with all the resources because he created everything. He can be trusted with it. At the end of the day, he gives us proportions. And that's what I was receiving today. But let's see. Let's see what the Bible has to say. So one of the first verses I felt led to write down this morning was Philippians 4:19. It says, "And my God will supply every need of yours according to his riches in glory in Christ Jesus." So he said he will supply every need. And I think, again, my situation as well as thinking about this morning showed me this. That at the end of the day, I have everything I need. We was able to do what we wanted to do on Saturday. And then, he gave me what I needed to get things done for this week. And even though I may not have seen that on Saturday, right? Or felt like I had access on Saturday, regardless of that, I still have it. So again, we may not see or have it all at one time, but if we trust the Lord, he will show us that we will have it right on time. I know it goes to that song, he's an on time God. Yes, he is. Again, he may not come when we want it, right? But it will be on time. And so, those were the things that was going through my mind this morning as I was, reflecting on this. And, I think the phrase, what you need when you need it, again, was something that resonated with me this morning as I was, again, thinking about all of this. So, Romans 12:68, it says, "Having gifts that differ according to the grace given to us, let us use them. If prophecy, in proportion to our faith; if service, in our serving; the one who teaches in his teaching; the one who exhorts in his exhortation; the one who contributes in his generosity; the one who leads with zeal; the one who does act of mercy with cheerfulness." So I think we all want to be everything. We want to be and have everything. But maybe it's not for us to be and have everything. Maybe it's for us to do whatever we do well. Maybe it's for me to get up and do the juice, and that's my proportion, right? And maybe it's for somebody else to share the blog post, right? Maybe it's for somebody else to, be the pastor. According to our proportions, again, God with the unlimited resources, us with our proportions of whatever it is that we have and what we do, and what he created us for. Again, I already talked about this idea that, again, we may not just only because we might mishandle if we had all the gifts, but we could get burnt off as well. I think anybody that wears multiple hats, and I think we all do to a certain extent, if we truly think about it, but let's think about a mother, right? You're a mom, you're most likely your wife, you may work or not, but even if you don't, you got the household. When you think about all the different things you do and whatnot in life, all the different roles that we play in the bigger picture of our life, as well as the kingdom and everything else, it's not for one person to be everything. I think that's probably where, fellowship and relationship and all this stuff comes in. Because again, I think what was reminding me this morning is there were some things that had been shared with me that I was able to share with someone else that may be helping their situation or whatever the case is. And that's the thing, like sometimes, yeah, we have things for us, but then we also have things again for others. And so to expect everything in one person is probably, a little bit far-fetched, but to expect everything in God, the one who created all things, that would be more beneficial. That's what I'm receiving this morning, but hey, let's keep going. 1 Peter 4:10, it says, as each has received a gift, use it to serve one another as good stewards of God's varied grace. So yeah, at the end of the day, again, your gift may, I know me and my husband was talking about this the other day. We was kind of joking about it because I was telling him like, listen, husband, every now and then it would be nice if you planned an event. You know what I'm saying? Like if you planned an outing or planned a whatever, for me, like, because at the end, but he's like, well, this is what you do. You get paid to do this. And I'm like, I know, that's the point. I get paid to do it. So it would be nice if someone did it for me. But at the same time, he kind of was joking like, well, that's what you professional at it. You good at it. That's what you're good at. And that just made me think about, like, I mean, that's kind of how it is in marriage. That's kind of how it is in, like, different aspects of life. There might be some things that I might be good at that other people might not be good at. Or vice versa. There might be things that, someone else is great at that I might not be as great at. And it's okay, I guess, this whole concept of outsourcing, this concept of collaborations, fellowship, however you want to look at it. Again, in marriage, my husband may be better at this part and I may be better at that part. And if we do both of our parts, it makes a whole, And so, yeah, it's just all about perspective, I think. Again, God and his unlimited resources, us in our different proportions. And how does that fit in this big puzzle of life? The big puzzle of the kingdom, the big puzzle of God's story. Yeah, I mean, I feel like all of these conversations that I've been having over the past few days are like meshing together in some ways. I thought about that this morning as well. I just was like, Lord, like you I feel like you kind of got me talking about something similar again. I think when he first kind of was bringing some of this stuff to my heart and mind, but at the same time, this is still like something fresh and new to me, looking at things in this way. And yeah, I guess, ultimately that's the juice, really. I mean, yeah, there's some more verses that you all can take a look at in the Go Deeper section, peruse and let marinate on your heart, souls, and minds. But the Bible verse of today is Romans 5:3-5. So I would say the Bible verses of today. And it says, and not only so, but we glory in tribulations, also learning that tribulations worketh patience. Also knowing that tribulations worketh patience, and patience experience, and experience hope, and hope maketh not ashamed, because the love of God is shed abroad in our hearts, shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Ghost, which is given unto us. Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. Did you know that you can support us for just 99 cents a month? That's right, friends. You can support everything that we do here at GSL for just 99 cents a month. Take a look around wherever this post is. You might see a link or maybe even a button that says support. Go there, check out the options, consider supporting us because, we enjoy bringing you all the daily inspiration as well as the weekly talk show, but we have much, much more to come. Thank you so much for the consideration. Bye-bye.